ways, but two ways that I can think of solving this if I were to ask this question. I would say that, you know what, the equation doesn't do a good job representing the height after it's hit the ground. In reality, the height should be 0, because once it hits the ground, it just stays on the ground, especially if it's like a hard surface. So the maximum height the wrench can fall is 342 meters, because that's how high it was initially. So that's one way to interpret it, that the equation doesn't do a good job. And the negative height is, you reject it and you just say the lowest height is 0 meters. Or the other option, if you open your mind and think of a possibility, do negative heights exist? And the answer is yes, they do exist. Because height is just a reference point. If the ground is, let's say, my 0, and anything above that ground level is, positive numbers, but what if I dug a hole in the ground? Would that not be a negative height? And yes, it would. So maybe it dropped in a hole. Maybe there's like a manhole cover and it went into the sewers. I'm just saying that there's more than one possible way to interpret this. Or maybe, this person was next to a lake or something and it dropped in the lake and it kept on going in the lake. I don't know. I'm just saying that, just so you know, negative heights are possible. I prefer the 0 height answer, because that's a little bit more common sense. It's a construction worker. They're not probably working over a lake, body of water. Second, the body of water would most likely change the speed at which it's dropping, so it's not consistent with this equation. So yeah, but I just wanted to show you. But yeah, I would answer this. The maximum height, how far the wrench is falling. The wrench should fall 342 meters, because it cannot phase through the ground unless if there is, happens to be a hole at that exact point the wrench fell, which is very unlikely. Okay. All right, when will the wrench hit the ground? So this is tricky because they gave you a point here. A lot of students don't figure this out because it's not explicit, but it kind of is. Remember, hitting the ground, what does that mean? What is your height when you're at the ground? Your height is 0. So they gave you a point. They basically said h is equal to 0. That's what they mean by when will the wrench hit the ground. H is 0. So 0 is equal to negative 4.9 t squared plus 342. Bring that 342 over. That's negative 342. Sorry, I'm going to percent there. Negative 4.9 t squared. Divide both sides by negative 4.9. And what is t squared equal to? 342 divided by 4.9. It's going to be, hold on. 342 divided by 4.9. 69.8. The answer is positive because you have a negative and a negative, so they cancel out. And the final step is just to take the square root of this value. And what is that equal to? Just a reminder, whenever you take the square root of anything, you always get a positive value and a negative value. If I take the square root of this, I get 8.35. Or negative 8.35. Obviously, the negative value doesn't make any sense to us. So the answer is 8.35 seconds, which makes sense. It hits the ground at that point. All right, perfect. Finished on time. So recap your learning goals, solve problems related to maximum and minimum values for a parabola. Now what? Just make sure you finish all the quizzes. If you are missing any assignments or quizzes, make sure you finish them by tonight. And then this assignment is due by tonight. I've actually extended the deadline a little bit because just for certain students. So for I extended for everyone, just in case for certain students who have difficulty submitting stuff on time. So that way you shouldn't have any issues. Yeah, so I'm not accepting any late assignments for Unit 3. I've already extended the deadline. That's your grace period. Yeah, it's a whole 24 hours. So it's not due tonight at 11:59. Sorry, it is due tonight at 11:59 p.m. It's technically considered late if you submit it after that. So you will be subjected to late marks, but at least you won't get a 0. And the next kind of drop box closes at Saturday, 11:59 p.m. The whole 24 hours. So there should be no excuses. All right.